afternoon, everybody. I'm Otis,
And I'm Jerry.
and this is Two Guys Catching Up on Football. It's Jerry and it would be either Jerry and I or Jerry and my's weekly catch up on all things football. In case you're here with us for the first time, Jerry and I are old friends. We used to work together, and every Monday we would get paid for talking about football for the first 2 hours of our workday. So after I retired, we kind of missed it. So we decided we would do it. And then we decided we would record it and put it on YouTube. So this is really our opinions on stuff. More than likely, you don't agree with us, which is okay, but it's our opinion. So
Yeah.
it's fine. But we do enjoy talking to each other and we have a good time talking about football. So,
And we don't always agree either. So,
no, we don't always agree. Jerry is a Cleveland Browns fan, and I am a 49er fan. Jerry sometimes acts like bad luck schleprock, and I have to kind of bring him back to reality. I'm not a big fan of Kyle Shanahan, so he tries to bring me back to reality. But hey, that's
yeah.
what friends are for. So
Yep. If,
we do that, and Jerry is conspiracy theory guy, like you just would not believe. I sometimes I'm
you mean
surprised.
like the Steelers game last night, Otis?
Yeah, so sometimes I'm surprised I don't see him with a tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
So but hey, it's the way it's the way he looks at things, and so it's kind of like,
Some
okay,
things are hard to believe, my friend.
yeah, sometimes it is. So,
Too good to be true.
the first thing, or the first person I wanted to speak about was George Pickens. And I had to talk. I had to, because in the game yesterday he played well, um, but the thing was, and at one point the cameras were on him, and he did this thing like this, and like, okay, you're outside noise. I'm not listening to you. Well, you must have listened to him, otherwise you wouldn't have said anything about
Right.
outside noise.
Yeah.
So number one, you're listening to him. But number two, and probably most important, no one ever said you did not have any talent. Everybody thinks he's one of the most talented receivers in the league. What everybody said was, if the ball's not coming to you or you're not involved in the touchdown, you're
Yeah.
not giving the effort.
Yeah. True.
And that's been proven. You're not giving the effort. So, you gave great effort yesterday, but those were on passes that were coming to you. So usually, if when you're watching replays and stuff, you can tell who's getting the ball because and not this
Oh,
isn't just for Pickens. This is for most wide
yeah.
receivers because they are on it. They are giving effort to make sure that they get open. But I don't know if you saw it. There was a replay on
I
the
saw it.
well, no, it was on the jet sweep, and the running back Warren absolutely pancaked a linebacker.
Yeah, I saw that block.
Oh, you saw that block? I
Yes, I
mean,
did.
the guy's feet went up in the air from this block. So, Mr. Pickens, that's the effort we want you to give when you're not getting the ball in the end zone. That's
Well,
you're
I think
being
wasn't it the clip from a week before, and it was probably one of their losses, but it was the same sort of play, and Pickens just stood there.
well, yeah, and he half-heartedly blocked the guy. He put a hand on him, but he didn't try to drive him into the end zone. He didn't. He didn't do anything that, let's say, Debo or George Kittle
Yeah.
or Brandon Ayuk or
And,
McCaffrey. Any one of them would have driven that guy into the end zone, and Warren would have been able to get to the end zone.
And that's why those guys are all pros because
That's
they're
why they're
all
all
around
pros.
players.
And that's why nobody ever has
Yeah.
anything to say about their effort because
Yep.
they are. Oh, and Juwan Jennings is another one who's a really good blocker on the 49ers. They block downfield because they want the guy to score. So if he scores, they win. Everybody is happy. Everybody gets to the Super Bowl. Everybody makes that Super Bowl check. And so it doesn't matter whether you score or not. So I just wanted to bring that up on Pickens. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm not going back to the Steelers, but my biggest thing was they finally did it. They replaced Trubisky with Mason Rudolph to try something different. You lost to Arizona and New England, I think it was. Your season was over after those two losses, pretty much. Why not give Mason Rudolph a chance? And they did, and look what happened.
Yeah,
And same Pickens played. Pickens got the ball.
he
So
got the ball, so he played hard because he was getting the
yeah,
ball.
yep.
So it's just one of
Yeah,
those
I just
things.
was flabbergasted that Mason Rudolph comes in and looks like Roger Staubach back there, throws two quick TDs, and that's where I thought, oh, come on. And Cincinnati's in the playoff chase, or kind of was, and I thought, oh, they that seemed like there was a little too wide open. A little quick, little scores were a little too quick for my taste, but it's okay. It happens. So
Yeah, you know, there's a reason Jake Browning was the second string quarterback, and there was a reason Minnesota traded him. He did well for what they won 2 games in a row or 3 games in a
I
row.
think three. Yeah.
He did well
Yeah.
for those 3 games, but the defensive coordinators in the NFL are the best at making when they get enough game film. They're the best at making a quarterback uncomfortable.
Yep.
And I think they got enough. I think they got enough game film to make Browning make mistakes. And so it's
Well, he did. In fact, now I forgot about it, but that's what really got me in that game, where the two early interceptions that Browning threw were really bad.
they
The
were.
end zone one was awful, and then the other second pick was arguably just as worse. Just
Yeah.
horrible. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm always happy when the backup does well.
Yeah.
But
Well,
but fans should not fool themselves into thinking he's the answer. And except for like Brock Purdy, but how often does that happen? I mean,
yeah, that's
he was really the answer. So,
well, our favorite backup. We followed him all year. He's our MFP. Most favorite player was Josh Dobbs.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we also knew there was a reason that he had been on
Yeah, we
4 or
saw that
5
now.
teams.
So
I
yeah,
mean, for us, it
yeah.
was funny. He was our most he was our
Well,
most valuable player,
I
dark
think
horse
through week
for a
5,
while.
we had him as our most valuable player of the year, and
Yeah.
then he dropped to
Even with the losing
MFP.
record, yeah, even with the losing record, we had him. But we always said there's a reason that
Yeah,
he's on his fifth team,
it's
and
true. Yeah,
and the coaches see him every single day and they know. I mean,
yeah,
they know. And
yeah,
so do the other players in the locker room. They
yeah,
know. People all over the league know that eventually he's going to start giving them the football. And
yeah,
he started. And so, unfortunately for the Vikings, that's the only thing that's keeping them
yeah.
from challenging Detroit for the division title.
That's
It's
true.
just um, Cousins got hurt, and then things kind of went bad
Oh
for them
yeah,
to begin with. I think Justin Jefferson went out in like the second game of the season or something
I
like that.
don't know what you make me think. Where you would where so of all quarterbacks in the league, when Kirk Cousins is healthy, is he top 10? Is he top 7?
I think he's top 15,
Yeah, I might
maybe.
put him around 10 or 9 when he's
Yeah,
going.
maybe top 10. He's top 15 for sure.
Oh
Because
yeah,
he's better than more than half the league, and
yeah,
there's no doubt about that. He's better
yeah.
than more than half the league. So, and he may be top 10.
I don't even know
Um,
who. Oh, they're still playing. Who's their quarterback now? It's not Dobbs. So,
no, it's Mullins.
oh, that's right.
And Mullins actually played pretty well today. He was driving towards the end, and he saw Justin Jefferson about a second too late when
Uh, they,
Jefferson broke
they
open.
almost came back and won that
They
game. Yeah.
almost came back and won that game, but he saw him a second too late, and by that time the safety had his eye on him, and it was too late.
Same
In
with the. Yeah.
Yeah, in college those guys are always open, and in the pros you have to throw them open. It's
Oh yeah.
altogether.
Yeah.
By the time you see he's open, you're already too late to get him the football.
And Sam Howell had a nice comeback because he had through the first quarter. I texted you a 2.8 right rating, which is pretty dismal. You and I said we could probably do that if they just told us to throw a quick screen.
If we just
But
hand the ball off, we're going to
yeah,
be at
a
2.8
forward
or
flip
below.
pass maybe.
Yeah, yeah, a screen pass. Well,
But he
actually,
did come back. Yeah.
no, no, no. Sam Howell didn't bring him back. They benched him again.
Oh, they brought in the backup,
They
huh?
brought in Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, huh.
Jacoby led them on the 3 second half
Well, good for
touchdowns.
him. Yeah, he's.
Yeah, yeah, he led them on the 3 second half
Oh
touchdowns. So
man. Whew.
yeah,
What a
yeah.
team that boy are they going to have a interesting off season. You got to figure out quarterback. You got to figure out head coach because Ron Rivera is gone.
Oh,
You
oh,
got it's.
oh. So do you watch professional wrestling?
I do not sometimes
Okay, okay, okay. Well,
occasionally.
I've always been a
Oh,
big
I know.
wrestling fan, and so the game today between the Jets and Commanders was like a loser leave town WWE match. So that was like a loser leave town. So they get the conflict between the two wrestlers, and it's go, okay, we're gonna have a match next week. Loser leaves town. That's who the Jets Commanders were today. It was a loser
Well,
leaves town.
and now what you remind me was it? What was the college game where the Undertaker was it Texas and their conference championship? They won the belt, and the Undertaker was there to give them the belt.
Oh no, I didn't know
Yeah, I
that.
think I texted you on that. Yeah, but I
Oh,
told you the Undertaker is not the same without Paul Bearer there. So
oh,
anyway,
oh,
yeah,
that's right. I remember you texting me. Because I remember going, what?
yeah.
Yeah, so but yes, I remember you texting me that. Oh gosh, that's funny. That's hilarious. But yeah, um, uh, well, Staley already did his goodbye tour, and so it's Ron Rivera's up next.
You
I
know, I didn't watch last night because the game, the NFL, in all its wisdom, put the game on Peacock so nobody could watch it. But I'm not even sure who coached the Chargers.
oh his name was
It must be
Give.
the offensive coordinator.
No, he wasn't a
Oh,
coordinator.
huh.
I don't even think he was a special teams guy, which is what a lot of them do.
Oh.
I don't know who he was,
You
but
know,
I think
I did get the Bills we know aren't very good on the road.
right.
And I had a feeling that the Chargers, it was their first game without a new coach, and they would come out, the players would be probably fired up or whatever. It was closer than we thought. So,
Yeah, yeah. His name I want to say was Giff Johnson, Giff,
huh.
and so you're right. He wasn't one of the coordinators. I don't think he was the
Huh.
special teams coach. I don't really know who he was.
Yeah.
Um, So it's but he did a good job. He didn't mismanage the clock at any moment, at any time. So that was good. Uh,
You know,
and
a
so,
friend of just a quick note on the Chargers. A friend of mine, he does sports writing at the Herald. Has been there for decades.
oh, okay.
He had an interesting take, and I made me think a little. But he said to Spanos, the owner of the Chargers, get a clue. Fans in LA don't. They're not into the Chargers. So you need to get the team out of there. Go back to San Diego where you belong. It's
Yeah,
not a bad point. Yeah.
yeah. Not a bad point.
Yeah.
So yeah, so now I, I gotta mention Baker.
Oh, boy, they
Baker.
shredded the Jags today. And apparently I saw that Baker Mayfield now Tampa. It made Tampa Baker may be his new home. They're thinking of signing him, and why not? He
Oh,
might lead
sure.
them. He may lead them to the playoffs. Probably
I,
will. I'm not
he
sure who
might.
they play the next 2 weeks, but
And Mike Evans is okay.
and
What was the Dallas Cowboys receiver? Receiver is it Des? I think it might be Des Bryant.
oh
No,
yeah,
no. It was. I can't think of his name now. He's on. He's on all these sports shows. Before then,
Hoover,
before Des Bryant,
Irvin,
Irving.
Michael Irvin.
Um, Mike Evans is the new Michael Irving.
Oh,
He pushes every defensive back off of him. He clears he clears room like he's a bulldozer trying to move dirt around. He is always 4 yards open. Oh, it doesn't matter. It
no,
doesn't matter how close that guy is on him. He's going to wind up 4 yards open. That guy, but he has a few drops from time to time that
well, you do make me think is we're going to be wrong on this because around week 5 or so, I think that we had a farewell tour going for Byron Leftwich, I believe, right for Tampa's head
I
coach.
don't think Byron Leftwich is the offensive coordinator anymore.
Well, who's the head coach though for Tampa? Bowles,
Head coach is still
Todd
Todd
Bowles. No.
Bowles
Oh, okay. Well, we had a farewell tour for
for Bowles.
around week 5. We figured, okay, we can start the tour for Todd
Yeah,
Bowles,
yeah,
and
but
he's probably saved his job.
he probably did. He
And good
probably
for
did
him. Yeah, yeah.
because they come back and they played well since
Yeah.
I think they were like 3-4 or 1-4 or
I don't
something
know,
like
even
that.
know what happened with. Did Trevor Lawrence play today?
He did. He injured his shoulder.
Okay,
He
so
injured
that
his
explains
shoulder.
because Jacksonville's not a terrible team. But
No, but C.J. Beathard is not the quarterback to
I do
take it
see
to the
if the
playoffs.
playoffs started tomorrow, the Browns would play Jacksonville. So, which is
Yeah,
cool.
and I think the Browns they've got a championship defense, and I think the Browns are going to do well. I think
Really.
they'll do well in the playoffs. Yeah, because they've got a championship defense. And let's be honest, Flacco is playing really good football
Flacco's
right
playing well. Here's why I don't think there's they'll get so far and then they're going to hit a wall. Is somebody on defense, and especially a team like the Niners with a great defense, and I might throw the Eagles in there as well, but somebody with a really good defense, Baltimore might be another one. The Browns cannot run the ball at all. They don't have a
now.
running game. So,
No,
and I think in the postseason at some point that's going to catch up with them. But
you're right, but I think the defense is going to keep them close enough. They're not going to allow the game to get
they might.
away,
They need to just if
and
they can.
it
Yeah.
just seems like the Browns are getting the breaks this year that in
Oh
years
my
past.
gosh, I've never seen so many things go in their favor.
Yeah, in years
And I
past they
tell
didn't
you,
get them.
today's game was nerve wracking because they lost their kicker, And I kept thinking they're going to lose this game by 2 points. So
because
it's going to
they're
come
gonna.
down to a kick that they can't kick,
Yeah,
basically.
so they'll get a
So,
kicker in tomorrow, so they'll
yeah,
have
someone will
somebody
come
next
in.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so um, uh,
I think the Browns are. Uh, they might have some guys coming back from injury too, but I think that they're confident right now, which is nice. I'm personally, I'm still leaning. I think next year could be very special for them next year.
yeah, so and I'm sorry, I keep looking up because
You got Dallas.
I've got the red zone on, and Dallas just did something to hand the ball away to Miami, and
I,
and, and, and and
it,
Dallas was up one, and the clock is running, and Miami's inside the 10-yard line.
oh,
So,
I'm
so
not. Between me, not people had Dak as in the MVP discussion.
yeah.
Come on, people. And
Well,
then you had a good comment too of is Micah Parsons a big product of the media and being America's team and all that? Maybe he's a great player, but he's not Lawrence Taylor out there either.
well, he's not Miles Garrett either,
No,
because you can run on Parsons,
yeah,
you can't run on Garrett.
no,
You can try to, but you're going to get hurt.
yeah,
So, but Parsons you can run on, and so no, he's not the best defensive
no,
player. If Dallas is not up by a couple of touchdowns, Parsons is invisible. He does
yeah,
not. He can't
true,
do anything to change. He
yeah,
doesn't do anything to change the game because um uh who did they play last week? Buffalo.
yeah. Oh, they got stomped. Yeah,
Buffalo on running plays didn't even block him. They didn't even bother to block him, and they were running. I mean, and he did nothing to. Yeah, so Dak padded his stats against teams that are weak,
yeah, I agree.
and
Yeah.
so
You,
yeah.
you got to keep in mind they're one of those teams. It's like looking at the old Patriots, but they're not that bad. But they play Washington and the Giants twice, Dallas,
Well,
which
and the Patriots, you and I used to always joke about it for years. They were 6-0 before the season started
is true.
because they were going to win every
They
game in
had
the
that
division.
terrible. They played in the easiest division for a decade at least.
Longer than that.
Yeah,
Longer
it
than that.
was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just kind of,
You know
yeah.
that would be a fun exercise. Neither of us have time to do it, but would be to see that the quarterbacks Brady faced in that division over that time frame. I'm on the Jets, Dolphins, and now I'm losing my track. What's the other team in that division? Jets,
And
Dolphins,
the Bills.
yeah, and the Bills. Before they had some horrible quarterbacks
Oh,
that were
yeah.
playing on
They
those
were
teams.
bad. They
Yeah,
were bad. And Belichick is a good defensive coach. He
yeah,
always
true.
has been.
Yeah,
And so they were just bad, and he didn't help them out any. So it was just, I mean, the Dolphins would beat the Patriots every
yeah.
once in a while. But
Oh,
yeah, so we got my brother sent us a question for this week.
okay.
So here we got a question from someone who is watching our show and he loves it. So
Oh,
he said we tickle him. So
oh,
actually, what he said was we crack him up. So he lives in Detroit.
hmm.
So of course his question is,
Oh.
do you think that the Lions have a shot at the Super Bowl?
Okay, well,
Well,
number one, does your
I'll let
brother know that you are not the biggest Lions fan around? If you get a chance to throw a dart at the Lions, you usually do. So,
Yeah, but that's okay. I'm gonna let you answer his question.
do they have a legit chance at winning the whole thing?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say yes. Only that I think the teams they need to get through, and maybe it takes a miracle, but they somehow get through either the Eagles or, more importantly, the Niners. It would be some sort of a miracle. Something happens. Maybe Purdy gets hurt. If they can get to the bowl, then sure, they have a chance. But the road's going to go through your Niners. And it's not going to be an easy road because I think they're hungry. So
Yeah. So there you go, Michael. Now I'm going to counterpoint. I'm going to counterpoint that and say if they are playing at home, they have a shot. Now they beat Minnesota on the road, but Minnesota's on their third or fourth string quarterback. So I'm not exactly sure if you can count that as legitimate.
they beat the Chiefs to open the season on the road, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, but the Chiefs aren't that good this year, so
Yes, true too.
it really isn't. It really
Right.
doesn't mean anything. So,
True.
but Michael, thank you for the question. Appreciate it. You're my brother. I love you. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
And thank you for
I
watching.
will tell Michael. One of my dream Super Bowls is to see the Lions versus the Browns. I think that would be just an all time. The apocalypse is here. So
that's one of the that's one of the signs that the end is near.
yes, a Browns and Lions Super Bowl.
Yeah, that is one of the signs the end is near because that is gonna be just
that would be something else. Yeah.
people will be screaming, running for the hills, going, no, no, no. Yeah, so anyway, Jerry, thank you very much for being here this week. We want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas
Merry
tomorrow.
Christmas.
Yeah, so I even had someone text me to wish me Merry Christmas Eve. So, so that was
You
nice.
get a double then.
Yeah. So that was nice. So, but anyway, it's time for a little traveling music. Time for us to say goodbye. Ah, yeah. Thank you guys again for another week. We appreciate it. I'm Otis.
And I'm Jerry.
And we just want to say Feliz Navidad.
Feliz
Happy
Navidad, happy holidays, and Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, everything. Yeah. Later.